All right, I'm getting started late in the day. It's near 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Getting started on a backpacking trip. Heading up to Big Bald on the Appalachian Trail. This is the Sam's Gap parking area. So I'm gonna head up here. Looks like there's a few other cars parked. That's the actual parking area. If you follow all trails, it'll take you up there, right up there, to a truck. It's like a truck stop. But this is the actual parking area. You have to find the side road, Flag Pond Road. Going west on 26, you'll find it. It's another, I think it was 2 miles down the highway. Anyway, this is the actual trail. And I got rain to accompany me. It was crazy because I waited all day to see what the weather was going to do, because it was calling for really stormy weather today. High winds, rain turning to snow at night. Didn't do anything until I got started on the trail. Even to drive up here, this isn't too far away from where I live, but I'm gonna crest Big Bald and maybe stay the night at the shelter up there. Pretty nice. They got the trail magic out for the hikers. I'm not going to take any. I'm going to leave some for the through hikers and section hikers. I'm just doing an overnight here. The weather's really turning foul. There's a Tennessee welcome sign. There are a lot of fallen trees right over here in this section. I know the hurricane hit Irwin pretty hard, and this section of the trail is not too far away from Irwin, Tennessee. Matter of fact, it was about 5 years ago that a friend and I hiked this section of the AT, 26 miles from Sam's Gap to Irwin, and got shuttled back from Uncle Johnny's hostel back to Sam's Gap where the car was parked. We stayed at the No Business Knob shelter with brutally cold temperatures that night. I just upgraded to a synthetic 0-degree sleeping bag. A very big fat sleeping bag. I remember that at the time. It was like 6 pounds or something. A Coleman brand. My friend, on the other hand, didn't have any such thing. I think he had a 30-degree bag, and the temperatures were about 20 that night, or colder, with snow on the ground. That goes back to the early days of the channel. When I started it back in 2020 to document my trips on the AT. 1.2 miles from Sam's Gap, and there's water nearby because I've been walking a green tunnel there. Not so green right now. I gotta admit, the forest is in pretty rough shape from the hurricane, I suppose. But you can definitely see where they came out here and cut some stuff down that was impeding the trail. Volunteers, ATC people, Forest Service people, whoever it was, I extend my thank you. But there's still, I mean, you know, this time of year it's kind of gloomy anyway. So this is when most through hikers start, though. These mountains won't be in bloom until about, well, the higher elevations won't be in bloom until about May, early May. Lower elevations will start in late March, right in time for spring. This is a little climb here. What do you know? The rain's turned to sleet. Whew, you see it bouncing off my jacket. That was a butt kicker of a climb. I would rather this turn to snow. I always like hiking in the snow. All right, coming out into the field now with a view of Big Bald in the distance. I still got to climb all that. Well, that's what I'm out here for. It's so beautiful here too, despite the weather. I love this view. Let's make a good camp spot too, but I really want to make it to Big Bald before sunset. So I'm gonna push, because I got another 2 hours, or less than 2 hours. All right, the rain has kind of subsided. No more sleet either. It reached a little clearing here, a little forest road. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. Continue straight on the trail. Man, will you look at that? That's a massive tree that fell. Whew. Look how deep the roots went. Jeez. Something the power of these winds when they come through these mountains, man. Trees topple. I was walking really fast there. Got my heart rate up. About to use my Garmin watch to see what my heart rate gets up to climbing Big Bald. Sometimes I forget to use it. Oh, there's a house up there at the top. You can't make it out, but all right, I'm getting close to the top. It's starting to get darker. There's a nature trail behind me. I'm staying on the AT to crest Big Bald. My heart rate got up to 159, but it's staying at around 146, 148. That's not too bad, but I'm thinking that it's still going to get steeper yet. I still have 1,000 feet to climb here in probably a mile or so. Man, this weather's really getting bad. I'm just over 5,000 feet. I'm very close to the summit. Almost another 500 feet of climbing. And the winds are really blowing good. So I guess the forecast was correct about these higher elevations having pretty bad weather. My lips are starting to freeze up. Man, it's gnarly. I'm close to the summit, so I'm gonna decide when I get to the top, even though there's a shelter up there. I don't have a preference for nasty weather. Have to worry about these trees coming down too. I already saw a lot of evidence of fallen trees all along the trail. So, gotta play it with a little caution here. Well, this weather is pretty miserable, man, so I'm not feeling it. I think I'm gonna head back. I could always come back. I'm just not very enthused about staying the night now. There's bright lights there in the distance. That must be Wolf Laurel ski resort or ski lift place, whatever you want to call it. Brightly lit. want to show you this. There's a dusting of snow on the ground too. And I'm just over 4,000 feet now. Yeah, so I decided that the weather was too bad as I got close to Big Bald. The winds were too treacherous, and I didn't want to go out any further. I was starting to get numb hands again, so I had to break out my hand warmer. But I could always go back, as I said, and do it in better weather.